And I could say that Drew McIntyre is brilliant again. You know, would you like to talk any about that segment? That's the other thing of note.
Let's talk about Drew McIntyre.
Well, they've got the people roaring, wanting the match. If the heel, Drew McIntyre, says these people want Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, oh, yay! And then Pierce said, well, how bad do you want the match? I want it bad. Well, then he says, I'll do it more than, I want it more than anything. And people are wanting it. And Drew said, please, Pierce, make it official. And Pierce says, I need one thing. And he calls the two referees in that Drew had done what it laid out, whatever. All you need to do is apologize to them for what you did. And Drew's like, why? And they go back and forth. And actually, Pierce is doing a tremendous job because you can tell they're letting him be more of a personality and more of himself rather than just the dry guy that was making a match or standing in the ring for a contract signing 2 years ago, right? Now he's firing up at him because he can cut promos because he was a wrestler, for fuck's sake, that many of these audience may not know. Anyway, so he wants him to apologize and he'll make the match. And Drew steps up to him and said, no. And then he has a meltdown, which was great, about how the referees have screwed me and you've screwed me and Punk screwed me. And it's a tantrum he's having. And then Pierce tells him, well, in that case, you're still suspended. And he pie faces the referees down and goes face to face with Adam Pearce. And then here comes Seth Franklin Rollins. And he hits the ring, gets a big fight. Drew bails out. But again, they don't even have to have the other half of the match in the building or on the show. The people are doing the work for it. They're chanting for Punk and this whole thing. And the longer they stretch it out, the longer they want it. But I love Drew McIntyre.
He's certainly been one of the highlights on the show. Do you think they're going to do something with Adam Pearce? He's getting more and more physical.
Well, no, I think it's like the deal at the press conference where he shot the elbow at Pearce and Pearce sold it, but he came back. It was more like you would see it at, as we talked about, the boxing press conference or maybe UFC press conference, whatever, rather than the traditional wrestling stuff where everybody can't help but go too far. And if you really did beat that fucking guy up, you'd probably be in jail because he's not a wrestler, whatever the case. I think they're letting Aldis in his own way. He's the more James Bondish, manipulator, but Pearce can cut a pretty good promo and stick his finger in your face as the voice of pretty much reason. Usually he's usually on the side of logic and normalcy. So they got different personalities, but I don't think that means they're going to get either one of them in the ring anytime in the next, 6 or 8 weeks or whatever.